Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Splain Daily. This is one of those stories that stops you in your tracks, especially if you're part of the generation that grew up with these movies. The films you quoted, the stories you shared with family, the moments that felt like home. Today, the news feels heavier than usual. On Sunday afternoon, December 14th, authorities in Los Angeles responded to a medical aid call at a home in the Brentwood neighborhood. When police and firefighters arrived, they discovered two people deceased inside the residence. City officials later confirmed those two people were Rob Reiner, age 78, and his wife Michele Singer Reiner, age 68. Police say the case is being investigated as an apparent homicide. At this time, no suspect has been identified, no arrests have been made, and a cause of death will be determined by the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner. The family released a short statement saying they are heartbroken by the sudden loss and are asking for privacy during this unimaginably difficult time. For many of us, this news doesn't feel distant. It feels personal. Rob Reiner wasn't just a famous director. He was part of our lives. If you're over 45, chances are his films were there during your most meaningful years. Date nights, family movie evenings, moments when life felt a little simpler. You heard the words, "as you wish," and believed in true love. You laughed at a deli scene and quoted it for decades. You watched a group of kids walk railroad tracks and remembered your own childhood friends. Rob Reiner had a rare gift. He understood people, and he told stories that stayed with us. Born in 1947, Rob Reiner was the son of comedy legend Carl Reiner and actress Estelle Reiner. He grew up surrounded by creativity, humor, and storytelling, but he carved out his own place in entertainment history. Many first met him in the early 1970s as Michael "Meathead" Stivic on All in the Family. That role made him a household name. The show didn't shy away from uncomfortable topics, and Rob's character helped bring thoughtful, often heated conversations into American living rooms. He won 2 Emmy Awards for that role, but his greatest legacy was still ahead. Behind the camera, Rob Reiner created one of the most remarkable runs in modern film history. In 1984, he co-created and directed This Is Spinal Tap, a comedy so influential it became part of the language of pop culture. Turning the amps up to 11 is still quoted today. Then came Stand By Me in 1986, a quiet, emotional coming-of-age story that reminded us of friendship, loss, and the moment childhood slips away. In 1987, The Princess Bride arrived, a fairy tale that somehow spoke to both children and adults. It had sword fights, humor, romance, and heart. Decades later, families are still watching it together. In 1989, When Harry Met Sally redefined romantic comedies. Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan gave us conversations that felt real, messy, funny, honest. And then there was Misery, A Few Good Men, The American President. Films that proved Rob Reiner could move effortlessly between comedy, drama, suspense, and political storytelling. His movies weren't flashy. They were human. He also co-founded Castle Rock Entertainment, which went on to produce some of the most respected television and film projects of the era. Alongside him through much of that journey was Michele Reiner. Michele was a photographer, producer, and creative partner. The two met while working in the industry and married in 1989. Together, they built a life that balanced Hollywood success with family, activism, and creativity. They raised 3 children and worked closely on multiple projects over the years. Those who knew them often spoke about their closeness, not just as a couple, but as collaborators and companions. Rob was also deeply involved in public causes. He was outspoken about early childhood education, civil rights, and political engagement. Whether people agreed with him or not, his commitment was never in question. In recent days, fans had been celebrating what would become his final project. Earlier this month, Spinal Tap II, The End Continues was released, reuniting the original cast decades after the first film. For many fans, it felt like a joyful return, a final laugh, a full-circle moment. Now, that release feels bittersweet. As news of Rob and Michelle's death spread, tributes began pouring in. California Governor Gavin Newsom called Rob a big-hearted genius, whose work left a lasting impact on American culture. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass described the loss as devastating for the city and the country. Fellow actors, directors, and fans have shared their shock, sadness, and gratitude for what Rob Reiner gave the world. At this moment, Many questions remain unanswered. Police have said the investigation is ongoing. They have not released details about the circumstances inside the home, and they have urged the public to allow the process to unfold. What remains clear is the impact. For so many of us, Rob Reiner's films weren't just entertainment. They were markers of time. They remind us who we were when we first watched them, who we loved, who we laughed with. And Michele Reiner was part of that story, a presence behind the scenes, a partner in life and work. As we wait for more confirmed information, this feels like the right moment to pause and remember. To remember the laughter, the warmth, the stories that connected generations. If you feel comfortable, share in the comments what Rob Reiner's work meant to you. Was it The Princess Bride? Stand By Me? When Harry Met Sally? Or a moment watching one of those films with someone you love? Your memories matter. If you found this video meaningful, consider liking it and sharing it with others who grew up with these films. And if you're not already subscribed, join us here at Splain Daily as we continue to honor the stories and people that shaped our lives. Thank you for being here, and thank you for remembering.